An interval and its inversion of an octave or less add up to 9. So if you have a seventh, when it's inverted, when you turn it upside down, you take the bottom note and put it on the top, it becomes a second. If you have a sixth and you invert it, it becomes a third. If you have a fourth and you invert it, it becomes a fifth. If you have a fifth and invert it, it becomes a fourth. If you have a first and invert it, it becomes an eight, etc. Remember this, my friends, an interval and its inversion add up to 9. Number 2, the quality of major and minor and diminished and augmented intervals flip. So a major second becomes a minor seventh. A minor sixth becomes a major third. A diminished fifth becomes an augmented fourth, etc. Okay, let's look at this in action. I am staring at an assignment or a quiz, and there is an E and a D sharp, and the instructions say to identify the specific interval. That means both the number and the quality. I can count up there and readily see that it's a seventh. Now, and see, we wrote the seventh down there. Now we've got to know what kind of seventh is it. We can count half steps, but man, that's a lot of half steps to count up there. The other thing that we can do is turn that interval upside down, put the E on the top. Do that in your imagination or on a piece of scratch paper. E down to D is a second, because, and you see, an interval and its inversion add up to 9. 7 plus 2 equals 9. Now we ask ourselves, what kind of second is it from E to D sharp? It's only one half step, so it's a minor second. Because we know that an interval and its inversion add up to 9, and the qualities flip in major and minor intervals. They flip, major becomes minor and minor becomes major. This seventh, since it inverted, it would be a minor seventh. I should be using a different finger, sorry, is a major seventh. Okay? And that makes it much easier to figure out, especially with these large intervals. Now, if you have something like a major third here from F to A, that's easiest to figure out by counting up FGA. And if you invert it and you take the F and you put it over the A, like this, then you would subtract 3 from 9, and you know that's a 6. And the major becomes minor, and so it's a minor sixth. So you'll find that really helpful as you're figuring out intervals. Last piece of advice is stick with one system and use the other systems to check your work. So if you've gotten very comfortable and are able to remember how many half steps are in all the different intervals of an octave or less, stick with that. If you're very familiar with all the different key signatures and you like to use the major key method, stick with that. If you're not so great at either one of those, then this inversion method can help a lot. Let me know if you have any questions, and remember, figure out the generic interval first before you do the specific interval, including the quality.